That's something kids love to do. It doesn't even matter what their personality is like, but kids as a whole love to sound out things, even just privately to themselves, right? They love to watch cartoons and repeat classic lines from that cartoon. They love to sing along even if they're off key all the time. Yeah, again, back to the no filter thing. When it comes to adults, not the same story, but you can easily change that. And so with that brings me to how adults can realistically emulate kids, or the way that kids approach a new language. Number one, you gotta dumb everything down, like I said before. Read from a basic level. Don't watch or read stuff that native speakers in your age group would watch. I would start from a 7-year-old friendly language material or a 10-year-old friendly language material and understand the most common words. Then I can move on to a different level. So that brings me to my point number 2 and point number 3. Point number 2 is you gotta stick within a range first. Read stuff that's relevant to you, but also read stuff that's within a particular range of vocab first. That way you don't run into too many words that are not that useful, not that common, that you won't run into ever again, that you won't use ever again. What doesn't get repeated, they don't get remembered. Simple as that. So point number 3 is you got to start reading. That's the one thing that kids don't necessarily do well because their brain is developing. Their basic thinking faculty develops as their language skills develop. So two things kind of happen together. Whereas an adult, you already have a fully functional, fully developed brain. You got to use your logic. You got to use your thinking faculty to your advantage. And reading is an advantage. When you read, you can pick up on a lot of things. You can pick up on a lot of new words. You can pick up on a lot of concepts, a lot of ideas that are too complex for kids. When I was a 10-year-old, I had to ask my mom, 妈妈,社会是什么意思? Or probably even 13 because I was a dumb kid. But as a 27-year-old adult, I understand the concept of 社会, of society, right? I might not understand it in every single language, but I can read an article on society in English, potentially in many other languages. So I don't need to relearn that concept. And when I read, because I have a context, I can naturally pick up on all the similar words, all the relating words, all the adjacent words to the word, to the concept. Little kids don't read as much or don't read as fast. Which brings me to my next point. If you want to read fast, if you want to read a lot, you must first strengthen your grammar because that's how you learn how to construct a sentence. That's how you break down a sentence that somebody else wrote. 如果你没有语法结构，没有语法很固定的这个很强壮的语法基础的话，看文章，你看阅读的时候，你只能看懂个别单词的意思，但是整句话你说不通。So it's gonna slow down your reading speed, compromise your comprehension skills. Ultimately, language learning comes down to who has more input, who has more comprehensible input, who can understand passively and who can speak actively, right?